Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story.
Not my issue. Can you buzz off?
Let me add a little bit of spice to that.
The Dean's List Podcast.
The Dean's List Podcast, Episode 3. Welcome to all our listeners, new and old, faithful listeners and new listeners alike. Welcome to Episode 3. Today we have our usual hosts. We have Mohammed Hamdan, we have Mohammed Yunus, we have Ali Farhat, and we have our producer, Ahmed Khalil. Today we have a lot of things to get through. We have the Ramadan watch. We talk about Ramadan. We're going to talk about football. NFL draft happened. It's happening today, yesterday, and before yesterday. And then we're going to finish off the day with table talk. So, boys, let's get it started. Ramadan, how's that happening? Day 1 was yesterday. This is day 2.
Yeah, it's been pretty good past 2 days. I actually had a really big headache yesterday, so that was quite enjoyable. And then today I have a pretty bad heartburn, so...
What did you eat for suhoor that you have heartburn? Tacos?
No, nothing really spicy. I don't know. I just get it.
What do you eat for suhoor usually?
Usually a bagel. Always a bagel.
Just
I love
carb
bagels.
loading?
Yeah. Bagels, sometimes, I don't know, snacks, chips. Chips pretty bad to have, but...
That's very
That's
bad.
so bad.
If there's some of the worst things to have.
But you know what? You guys ever buy those pita bites from Costco?
Oh yeah, I've heard of those.
Oh my god, man. Amazing.
I'll be honest, confession here, I've been like eating chips like a monster lately.
Yeah.
So for
I
the
love
first 2 days of Ramadan, or the first 2 suhoors of Ramadan, I had a half bag of those large Miss Vicky salt and vinegar. The worst possible choice
That's like
for
the worst thing
Ramadan.
to have.
For Ramadan, but yo,
Salt and vinegar?
they're so good, man. It was so worth it.
Salt and vinegar Miss Vic's is the best
Yeah,
chips.
it's
It's one of the
no,
best.
Miss
oh my god.
Miss Vicky's jalapeno.
Jalapeno.
And the sweet, what is
No,
it?
the honey Dijon.
Oh, that one's
That
good.
one's really good.
Yeah.
I should check that one out.
Yeah, not salt and vinegar. That's like the worst chip.
What?
That's the worst chip flavor. That's
No, the worst
salt
one.
and vinegar?
The worst
That's
one they
the
have
best
is the
one.
original recipe one. That one's disgusting.
Oh, just like the original?
Yeah, and like the
I'd rather have
black
that than salt
pepper
and
lime
vinegar.
or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. For the longest time, I used to be all about Ruffles all dressed, but then,
Me too.
my brother got me on to Miss Vic's.
Doritos. No, man.
Doritos is disgusting, man.
You
What?
guys are
I
crazy.
cannot eat
100%.
Doritos.
They're actually disgusting.
Oh my god, you guys don't know. Listen, all I do is eat chips.
I
I'm
love
telling you
Doritos.
guys, Doritos are so good.
Cool Ranch.
Cool Ranch smells like bad breath. That's what it
That's
smells.
fine.
It smells like bad breath.
No,
and
Cool
sweat.
I
Ranch
like
is
it.
not that. It's overhyped.
Really? Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Jalapeno
man.
cheddar, man.
What about
Jalapeno
you?
Cheddar? Oh, the green bag?
As you guys can
Yeah.
tell, we're very
Yeah.
hungry right
Yeah.
now.
Just talking about food.
How was your day yesterday?
So it's really easy, to be honest.
Yeah,
I'll be honest,
it's
I
easy for me
find
too.
fasting in Ramadan specifically much easier than fasting outside Ramadan. So for me, the thirst is what gets me. But
Yeah.
the hunger is not that bad.
Hunger never bothers me.
Ali?
Yeah, I don't know. For me, it was like yesterday wasn't too bad. I think like an hour before iftar, when like I can smell what my mom's making, and that's when I get hungry. But throughout the day, like I wasn't even that thirsty yesterday either. I kept myself occupied throughout the whole day, and I wasn't that bad. What about you?
Yeah, I've never had troubles like fasting at all. It's usually, that's what you said. It's like you have to keep yourself occupied, right? So like yesterday was Friday, so I had like work and stuff, and then did Salat al-Jum'ah and all that. So like and then you read Quran, and then I was reading a lot too yesterday. So yeah, it's pretty easy.
Yeah,
And then like as Yunus said, like fasting in Ramadan is easier just because like everybody around you is fasting, and it's just like the atmosphere of everybody being in the same boat, so it's not that hard.
I don't know. I have a feeling that this Ramadan is going to be a bit more difficult because in the past Ramadans, like I have school and work and
Yeah.
stuff to keep me occupied.
This is the first Ramadan I'm not working. So
Yeah,
it's
so
pretty
it's
weird.
very like I feel like I'm gonna have a lot of time to just think about food and think about stuff.
Read
like that.
books.
Yeah, I can, but that's kind of boring.
Okay. Why do we fast? Like if somebody came to you, which I just did, why do you fast?
Well, there's many reasons why we fast.
No, I don't need a lecture. I'm just saying
Honestly,
you personally. Why do you fast?
Like, I like looking at it as a way to um, I'm trying to find the words, like clean up yourself, you know. I think
It's a cleanse.
it's a cleanse, exactly. Yeah, that's the word. It's
Or
like a nice cleanse to your body, you know, for like a whole month. You're, you know, yeah, just a cleanse.
You're talking like a physical cleanse, right?
Yeah, I think physical cleanse and
Alhamdulillah.
just like I don't know.
I don't know.
I can't find the words for it.
I think for me, how I see it is, it's like it's a time where, like, this is something we all kind of grew up, I guess, being taught. It's like where it's a time where you wanna be grateful, and I think like because you gotta like look at it, you have to be grateful for the stuff that you have, and like when you take advantage of eating food every day and drinking water, Ramadan kind of just reminds you like the place that you're supposed to be in, and I guess I do everything for the sake of Allah.
Yeah, like the classic answer we usually you get if you ask like a kid or like a junior high student or something, why do you fast? Like classic answer is to feel for the poor people, which like fine. I mean that's definitely a benefit that comes with fasting, and as Ali was kind of alluding to, opens your eyes to a lot of the blessings that we have, you know, because Ramadan's that time of the year where even things that are halal, things that are permissible for you, now you're letting go of them for the sake of Allah. For like in Edmonton here for 19 hours a day, you know, like food is fine, water and drink is fine, but for 19 hours a day you're saying no to those things that are good for you for the sake of God as a form of sacrifice. But there's definitely more to it. What would you say, Bilal?
I look at it as a discipline. It's like a disciplinary thing where throughout the year, you know, you're faced with all these obstacles, and you're faced with like, you know, permissible and non-permissible things in Islam. And then if you look at your everyday life, you know, whether it be at work, whether it be, just like everyday life, a lot of people lack discipline. And then, you know, fasting just proves to you as a human that you are capable of being disciplined. You know, as you mentioned, Eunice, like 18 hours without food and water, that's not something doable, you know. And then it's like, but then you prove to yourself that you can do it. And then that, you know, translates to in your everyday life, like you are able to wake up really early and like hit the gym, for example, or you're really capable of focusing at work, or you're really capable of, you know, just making sure you stay away from all the vices in life. And fasting, that's what I feel like it does, is just it reminds you like once a year that for 30 days straight, you are capable of not eating, not drinking during the day. You know, you are capable that you go down to the minute where you stop eating, and you go down to the minute when you could start eating. And it just, subhanAllah, like it reminds us, like for me, it reminds me of like how much a Muslim or a human is capable of doing. And that's how I look at fasting, or when I fast.
Yeah, I agree completely. Like I actually have something else I wanted to say, but before I get to that, like Ramadan, I think that one of the most amazing things about Ramadan is, for the most part, I don't know about you guys, but I feel like I have more energy in Ramadan compared to outside of Ramadan. Like you look at even some of the athletes in the past and even in the present, some Muslim athletes throughout the month of Ramadan, they are excelling. They're not taking the month off. You know, they're not like taking a break from sports or whatever. They're still training. They're still working out. They're still playing on the court or whatever it is, and they're excelling. You have other Muslims. We have probably over 100,000 Muslims in Edmonton right now. And I mean, obviously with the coronavirus, things are a little bit different, but under normal circumstances, those Muslims are working construction jobs, they're working office jobs, they're working in the hospitals or wherever it may be, but they're working, right? And a lot of them are working more than just 8 hours a day. They're working sometimes more, because, you know, some of them are like grocery business, where like they have to be there before open, they have to be there after close to like restock the shelves and stuff. So it's not like we're just sitting and sleeping all day. Like, no, we're still working and we're being very productive despite the lack of food, despite the lack of water, and for some people even a lack of sleep, because your sleep goes down due to extra night worship and all that kind of stuff. But the one thing I think that really stands out, and I think Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala highlights this in the Quran as to the core reason why we fast, is to, he says in the Quran, لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ. Fasting has been prescribed upon us so that we can increase in taqwa. And taqwa basically means, in a very simple way, God consciousness. you know. So one of the main things or the main purposes behind fasting Ramadan is to kind of give us that reset, as Hamdan was also alluding to, like that cleanse. But this time it's more of a spiritual cleanse where we're reminding ourselves who our Lord is and reminding ourselves that everything we do is for his sake. Even if we're going to sacrifice something that is permissible for us, we're going to do it for his sake, so that after Ramadan we know we have the strength to sacrifice that which is impermissible for the sake of God.
That's a much better answer than I would have given.
Way to put everybody down, Eunice.
Sorry, guys. That's kind of my job on the podcast.
No, that's a good answer, yeah.
No, like even, you know, in Islam, you know, it's not like you're only allowed to fast in Ramadan, and even fasting outside Ramadan is recommended and admired in Islam too. And that's the Eunice goes alluded to, like it's a spiritual thing that gets you close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Like if like I remember watching this one documentary about evangelicals, that's how you say it, evangelical Christians.
Yeah.
So they were like had this camp for these kids, and then they were like kind of, you know, trying to rile up the kids about like being fundamental Christians and stuff like that. And then they're like, you know, you look at the Muslims, they make their kids at the age of 5 and 6 to fast all day Ramadan. That's why they're so strict. That's why they're so strong. I'm like, oh, jeez. Well, that just like, I know she's being overreactive, but it just shows like, yani, that's something where not a lot of religions and not a lot of societies have that discipline, and they wish they could have that discipline. So it's always like, you know, we don't want to look at it as a punishment or look at it as a task that we have to do. You know, we need to look at it as something that needs to make us better people and something that we should be looking forward to do in Ramadan and out of Ramadan.
No, I love when people come up to me and like say it as if it's a punishment.
Yeah.
They're like, well, like, why would you even do that?
Why are you
would
torturing yourself?
Yeah, like, why would you not drink water?
I've got
That's
that
crazy.
so many times before at work.
I'll be honest, I think that's ridiculous.
Yeah, I've got that so many times before, like you wouldn't even understand.
No, even like non-religious people are fasting though. Like you hear like intermittent fasting. There are
Yeah.
people that go 20 hours a day with no food. Sure, they'll get their water, fine, but 20 hours a day with no food, and like the average person might think that's insane. You have other people that go multiple days without food,
Mhm.
right? It's not torture, but again,
Yeah.
it's just the lens you want to put on it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the beauty of religion, especially Islam. Like anything that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala prescribed to us is not something to punish us. It's more to make us better humans and better people and better members of society and to make ourselves better.
Yeah.
You know, that's the beauty of religion. So I'm going to switch gears here. I know you guys won't really care as much, but let's talk NFL draft, Ali.
Yawn.
Not really. Not really. What's your reactions? I'm a Patriots fan. You're a Giants fan.
Yeah.
As a Giants fan, what was your reaction?
Well, I honestly I forgot who they drafted, but I
It was
remember
like the offensive tackle, I think.
it was. He wasn't apparently when he was drafted. He wasn't like the best one that was even available. So I remember going onto Twitter and like a lot of people were kind of freaking out about it. But I was more interested in some of the trades that were happening. Like even one happened today with the Eagles.
Yeah.
That Marquise Goodwin went from the 49ers to Philly.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a good trade, I think, for Philly because they added more speed. But I think obviously the biggest topic is Burrow's going to Cincinnati and then Tua going to Miami.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Burrows was, for people that don't know, Burrows was the number one prospect, and he got picked first overall. He went to Cincinnati Bengals. And Tua was number four or five,
yeah.
and he went to Miami. Well, to be honest with you, I look at it that, everybody said that Cincinnati was going to draft Burrows. But the way I look at it, I think Cincinnati, if they were smart about it, which like they're really robust throughout their history, if they're really smart about it, they would have traded that first overall pick, got themselves way more picks, and put weapons around Andy Dalton, because Andy Dalton is a good quarterback. Like a lot of people like hate on him because of Cincinnati's record, but it's not his fault. It's just like I feel that the front office doesn't really know how to run a team. So I'd rather if I was Cincinnati, I'd rather have traded that first overall pick, got way more picks, and get the weapons to Andy Dalton. But then I personally think, and then we'll jump to you, that Tua's going to have a way better career than Burrows. So Tua in Miami is going to have a better career than Burrows in Cincinnati. What do you think about that take?
I don't know. I don't agree with that. I think that Burrows, like I do kind of agree with the fact that Andy Dalton is still like he's still a good quarterback compared to
Right.
the other ones in the NFL.
Right.
But I think that Burrows has more weapons in Cincinnati than Tua has in Miami. Like he has good receivers like AJ Green and John Ross, I think it is.
Mm-hmm.
And they also have what's his name, Joe Mixon as the running back.
Right.
So they have, I think, a better offense than Miami does. Miami just got that Matt Breida today,
Right.
though, that running back, so he's not too bad. But I think overall, Burrows will have a better career. I don't know. Plus I think Tua is very injury prone too. Like he had a lot of injuries in
He
college.
did, and yeah, but the thing is, like that's something they need to learn. Like quarterbacks, when they come into the NFL, they'll learn how to start. Like Tua, all his injuries was because he was trying to make plays happen, or he was trying to run out of the pocket and
Yeah, he was too aggressive.
Too aggressive. So I think the coaching staff in Miami will put a stop to that. But the reason why I think Miami is going to be a new up and coming team, if you look at last season, they had a horrendous start to the season, but they kept playing, and then they had a winning record by the second half of the season. I mean, they're the reasons why New England couldn't get out of never had a first week bye. And then if you look at it also, Fitzpatrick was probably still there. Tua's going to sit behind Fitzpatrick. And if you also look how many picks that Miami has this year, they're actually rebuilding for the future, and Tua will be part of that. Where if you look at Cincinnati, they have that when like Burrows is going to go in, he's going to be fresh and he's going to be starting right off the bat. So that's why I don't know. I don't think since like Burrows is going to have a rough first 3 years compared to Tua.
I don't know how I see it is even like not even in just in the NFL, but like in the NBA and the NHL, people tend to follow like the big names, and I think when Burrows like starts to make a name for himself more in the NFL, I think people are gonna want to start going to Cincinnati.
Nah.
I
Cincinnati's
think
a
so.
cheap team.
I don't know. I think so. I think
Really cheap.
I
They're
don't
not gonna
think-
go. They're not gonna pay free agents.
I don't know. I think Burrows will attract some wide
Nah,
receivers.
man. Like that's what everybody said about Menzel when Johnny Menzel. You guys remember Johnny
Yeah,
Menzel when
of
he
course.
came here? It was like, yeah, that's it. He's the new blah blah blah. And then he, I never even made a season. And then they had I'm just hitting on the Browns, but the Mayfield, same thing. He never made anything happen. Wentz, same thing. He came in like a huge name, and then so far he didn't really do anything for Philly.
Yeah.
Right? Nick Foles won them that Super Bowl. Wentz didn't do anything for Philly. I don't know. I just feel that Tua is gonna have a way better career than Burrows. And don't at me, Ali.
I guess time will tell, but I
You have
think
no idea what we're
Burrows-
talking about.
I have no idea.
All
I know
right.
who Burrow is. He
LSU.
yeah, he played for LSU. He won them the championship, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
See, I
was
know who he
undefeated.
is.
No, he was undefeated
Yeah.
in college. Like he's a
Yeah, I
good.
know.
No, but the only thing about Burrows though is, like he only had like his last year was like his best year.
Yeah.
Right? But everyone was saying like that was like the best year someone has ever had in college.
Mhm.
But like his first couple years weren't anything special. So people are saying that they're basing this number 1 overall pick off his last year, and it might be kind of risky.
Right.
And there was an NHL player like that too. I think it was Nico Hischier. When Nico Hischier got drafted to the Devils, they were basing it off of like 1 year. So because apparently he blew up that year, and Nolan Patrick was supposed to go first.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I mean Nico Hischier isn't really doing anything right now, so I think it's kind of risky basing it off of 1 year, but.
I'm not saying Burrows sucks or anything. I'm just saying Cincinnati sucks, and Cincinnati as an organization is gonna really bring him down. I have more hope in Miami's the way they're doing, the way they they traded all their high profile player. They have a lot of cap space. They have a lot of picks, so I think they're more primed to rebuild way quicker than Cincinnati. But that's my 2 cents. What do you think about Gronk coming out of retirement, getting traded to Tampa Bay?
Well, I know Mohamed Hamdan has a lot to say about that, but I don't know. I don't think no matter what, I said like last podcast, or I think it was the one before, but I don't think Tom Brady is going to be the same on Tampa than he is on New England, and I also don't think Gronk will be the same there either. I think Gronk is out of his prime. I think he's still a great tight end, but I don't think he's one of the best in the league anymore.
It'll be pretty weird if they don't win something this year, though.
They won't.
It would be
No, I
so
don't
weird.
think
It
they
would
will.
just such a waste of time, honestly. Everything they've done.
So I have a question. I don't know much about football, but I do know Tom Brady is a really, really good football player.
Yes.
And we all know Bill Belichick is really good at what he does.
Right.
So, Ali, are you saying that you don't think they're going to go very far, the Buccaneers you're talking about? with Gronk and Brady? Is it because Bill Belichick and the team is what makes the Patriots great, or is it because just Brady himself is not enough to like carry them?
I think one, like me and Bilal both agree on this, but Belichick was like the whole brains behind the New England dynasty.
100%.
Like he was like, I think if Belichick wasn't there, they wouldn't have been as successful. So I think Brady going on to a new team by himself without Belichick for the first time, and
it's gonna be a huge shock for him.
Yeah.
Like he thinks, like the way I know Brady, like a lot, like he came out and he said like, oh, you know, Belichick has his own thing and I have my own thing and I respect him and all that good stuff. But I honestly think that once the season starts going, and he's gonna see a huge difference between the cultural standpoint and the coaching staff between what's it called, Tampa Bay and New England. Like the guy that, what's his name, Brian Arian, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers coach. What's his name?
Oh, I'm not sure.
But I know he was a coach for the Arizona, and the Arizona barely made the playoffs. Like I don't know what people are expecting with that. But then even if you look at Gronk when he retired, he said he retired because he was too injury prone. He was tired of being injured. But I don't I do agree that he's past his prime, and I do agree that I wouldn't say like it's a gamble by Buccaneers. Now they have to lay off one of their tight ends, right? Because Gronk has $10 million left on his contract. Tampa Bay has to pay for it. And they gave away a 4th round pick. So New England pretty much didn't expect Gronk to come back. So they got a 4th round pick for no reason. So I don't know. If you ask me right now, I think Tom Brady is not going to be happy in Tampa Bay. Like right now he's excited about it, but he's not. He's gonna like go back against that decision, I think. And I don't think Tampa Bay is gonna win any Super Bowls as long as for the next 2 years. For sure. Like they might make the playoffs, but they won't make it to the Super
I
Bowl.
thought everyone was saying Tampa's team is like sick this year now.
See, the thing
They're better.
Is like back to Eunice's question. Like Tom Brady is still like a great quarterback, and honestly, he has more weapons on Tampa this year than New England does.
He did.
Like he has unbelievable wide receivers now on Tampa, and Gronk. If he can still prove to be Gronk, then he has amazing weapons to throw to. But I don't think like the team as a whole will be able to win the Super Bowl.
I don't think so.
I still think it's going to be Baltimore this year.
Nah, they're gonna choke.
I think Lamar
They're
Jackson.
gonna
Yeah,
choke.
because
They're
you're in
choked.
love with Lamar Jackson.
2 years in a row they choked in the first game
Andy's
of the
literally
playoffs.
obsessed with this
I
guy.
love
Yeah, I
Lamar
don't know.
Jackson. Yeah.
But again, like Tampa Bay, I'm saying Tampa Bay is going to be a good team. I'm not saying they're going to go on a losing record, but I don't think they will. They'll make the playoffs, but they're going to be really underwhelming. But even last year, like New England had a winning record. New England clinched a playoff spot before anybody else in the AFC, and that's without Brady having any weapons. And I give that credit to Belichick and not Brady, because that was a defense. Right? They were like the first rated
their
over
defense was unbelievable. Yeah.
So I don't know.
So I have another question for you. You look at other sports. You look at, let's say, basketball. You get a guy like LeBron James. I know we talked about him already, but he can take any team from like the bottom third of the standings and take him to the top third of the standings, no problem.
Yeah.
You know, and you can argue that there's other players with him and a bunch of other things going on, sure. But at the end of the day, when the guy moves to a team, that team delivers.
Right.
You look at hockey, for example, it's very tough for just one superstar player to take a team from the bottom third to the top third.
Mm-hmm.
Prime example, we've seen it here in Edmonton. Like Connor McDavid is arguably the greatest player on the planet, and the Oilers have missed the playoffs for all years but one while he's on a team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's not like, I mean, you got to be in the top half to make it into the playoffs, not the top third. So the Oilers have even been able to be a top half team with a superstar, like arguably the greatest player on the planet. So where does football lie on this scheme? Is football a sport where one star can take the team from the bottom
I feel like
to
it's
the
very
top third?
similar to hockey, right?
Definitely.
Yeah, it's way similar to because
go ahead,
Adi.
football you need your defense. Like the 49ers had the best defense throughout the whole season this year, and that's what and what they say in football is defense wins you the championship, not one defender, like defense, and then also like obviously offense as well.
And then special teams, that play, like it's so underrated, but special teams like kicking the ball like kickoffs and punting and everything like that, almost controls the game too, right? Field positioning and all that stuff.
I think for me, the only sport that can maybe get away with having one superstar is basketball.
That's only sport.
Like
That's
LeBron on Cleveland, or like just something like.
But it
As long
wasn't
as you have
always
that
like
one
that.
core guy.
Yeah,
It wasn't always like LeBron. When LeBron came into the league, like Jordan, when he came into the league, still, kind of, what's it called, sputtered until he got Pippen, and that's when he blew up. Like LeBron, he came and like Cleveland was a no team, and then he came on and they made it into a playoff team. But I don't know. I think only basketball, just because when LeBron James came on the scene, he's only one that could do that. To be honest with you.
Yeah, but like let's be fair. Like sure, LeBron got them to the playoffs multiple times, but he didn't win in Cleveland until he had Kyrie with him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So
that's what I'm saying. But like still, Cleveland made the playoffs because of LeBron James.
That's true.
Right?
That's true.
But yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think?
I don't like this Gronk and Brady thing.
Why not?
I think it's all show. I don't know. It's just I don't know. It's not realistic.
Do you think that he just should have stayed in retirement?
Brady should have just retired.
I agree.
After he won his championship, stop being annoying. Gronk should have just stayed in retirement. Like there was literally no reason for him to go to Tampa.
Well, did you
makes no sense.
Did you see what Gronk said the other day about? Oh, not the other day. It was I guess a while ago, but. I guess the Patriots were thinking about trading Gronk.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
they're thinking about trading Gronk to the Detroit Lions.
Yeah.
And then Gronk's like, well, no, you can't trade me because I'm going to retire.
Yeah.
And then the Patriots are like, oh, well, I guess. And then like after like the trade like didn't go through, he's like, yeah, I'm not retiring. And then so I just think Gronk is just kind of having fun, honestly.
No, he is.
I don't think he
That's how
really
he
cares.
is, right?
Like he doesn't even care about
It's
winning
funny.
the Super Bowl, in my opinion.
Pretty sure he cares about winning this.
I don't know.
Man, he's having so much fun.
I just think he just wants to go and play.
See, but Hamdan brings up a really good question though. The idea of like retiring, retiring when you're on top. So like if you look at a lot of star athletes, there's a lot of major star athletes who retired, but they were already on the downhill when they retired. Now, I was listening to an interview like maybe a couple of weeks ago with GSP, George St. Pierre. And for those who don't know, George St. Pierre is like the greatest Canadian UFC fighter to live, pretty much. And I mean, the guy's still at an age where if he wants to fight, he can still fight at the UFC level. But he chose to retire on top. And he was saying that he talked to Dana White, like the guy that runs the UFC, and he was congratulating GSP, saying like, you retired on top. Very few people are able to do that, because the reality is these star athletes don't know when their expiry date has hit.
Yeah.
You look at Jordan when he came back from retirement and played with the Wizards. It was the Wizards, correct?
That's right.
He wasn't able to do much with them, right? And I feel like if he just retired with the Bulls on top, it would have been a lot better for his legacy. And I feel like with Brady, he's taking a big risk here. The one thing though, it's high risk, high reward. If he can do something big with the Buccaneers, I think that solidifies him as like undoubtedly like one of the greatest athletes of all time, to be honest.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and honestly, if you think about it too, like even like Muhammad Ali, like he was on top, and then he retired, and then he came back, and then he like obviously he still has like an amazing legacy, and he's known as the best boxer of all time, but like that end of his career kind of ruined things for him, like how things were going in his career, because some of the fights at the end of his career were horrible.
But I feel like you don't really see a lot of like athletes retire on top. I don't know.
It's
like,
tough, man.
Where do you ever see an athlete like?
Well, it gets to their heads.
That's
they
what I
figure
mean.
like, oh, we're unstoppable. Like
that's what I mean.
It's not just that though. You have to remember like that sport. Like let's just use basketball or let's use football as an example. Football is pretty much all a guy like Brady knows, and he loves the sport. He loves playing. Like at this point, he doesn't need money. He doesn't need championships. He's just there to have fun.
Oh yeah.
So a lot
how
of these
many
guys
games do you play? How many games a year do you play in football? Like, what's a?
There's like
they
16
changed
weeks.
it this year.
I think there's like 16 or 17 weeks or something. So there's like 17, and then there's like a bye week. So like 16 games or something.
16
like
games
that.
out of your 365 year.
I
Why
mean,
not?
Yeah, but like
training and
But it's
everything.
not that. It's
Football
like
is
training and then
commitment,
it's
a lot
like
of injuries and
16 games.
I think like personally, if I was an athlete and I won a championship, I would retire at that. Like if it was at the time where I should retire, I would retire. Like
because last year,
unless you saw records to beat, like for example, like let's say Ovechkin, right? Like he won a Stanley Cup finally. He's still a bit young, but he still wants to beat like that goal scoring record and stuff like that. So, but I guess Ovechkin's still a bit young.
Still young.
He has at least 5-6 years.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
5
But
years
I'm saying
probably.
like a guy like him, like he won a championship, but he still has more that he wants to do, right? Like he still wants to get that all-time goal scoring record.
Yeah.
So I don't know if Brady has. I don't know.
Brady broke all the records. He has 6 Super Bowls. He tied Montana. The thing is, I think right now, like he keeps denying it, but right now it's just a big. I could do it without Belichick move.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is.
How old is Brady right now?
43.
43.
my.
And what's the average age of a quarterback?
40.
Yeah.
That's the average age?
No,
Oh.
like
For retirement.
For retirement.
Oh, wow.
Like right now, I would put about 6 to 7 quarterbacks ahead of Brady
Right now.
right now. So I don't know. Like, there's a reason why. Like, there was rumors going around that New England gave him an extension contract, and they said that will match Tampa Bay. But I guarantee when it came down to it, they were like, would rather get rid of Brady. Because they're like, all right, let's start rebuilding now. Let's start, because I don't know about hockey or anything, but like when the free agent signs somewhere else, you get a compulsory pick. You know what I mean?
There's been times where stuff like that has happened, but for the most part, if you hit free agency, you're free to the open market.
Well, it depends if you're a UFA or an RFA.
Oh yeah, RFA makes a
like
difference for sure.
like if you're a restricted free agent and someone like a team tries to get you, then that team will have to give up picks to the team that owns the rights to that player.
Yeah.
Right. It's gonna be interesting next year.
It's gonna be a great
I cannot
season,
wait.
yeah.
Like it's gonna be. I just want to see. Like I have nothing against Brady. Like as a Patriots fan, I was expecting him to leave.
So are you still a Patriots fan now?
Yeah, I'm a Bill Belichick fan.
Oh,
Well, how about when Bill Belichick leaves? Will he still be a Patriots fan?
Probably not. I'll probably lose. Like I want to be as invested as I am right now. But like when he leaves, I'll probably just be like watching football for the sake of watching football, rather than like
you
right
become
now.
a Minnesota Vikings fan.
No, well,
Minnesota sucks, man. Just get
Kirk
off
Cousins.
Get off that
They'll
wagon.
never
He's
do
the GOAT.
anything with Kirk Cousins.
He's the GOAT.
The
I
big,
don't know anything.
I don't know
what I'm
that.
talking about.
Honestly, like the future is going to be Kansas City, Baltimore, and
the Giants.
oh my god, what are you? Oh my god,
Danny Dimes and Saquon.
no,
Saquon.
at all. Saquon, no.
Saquon's the best running back in the league. You
He
can't
is,
deny
but
that.
too bad he sucks on the Giants. So let's you have Kansas City, Baltimore, San Francisco. Those are going to be the 3 new teams in the league.
I don't know. I don't think San Francisco is going to have a great.
Does Vegas have a
Future.
football team now?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Raiders,
Oh.
but
Wait,
It's
was
gonna
that
be-
last season too, or just this
No,
season?
it
This
was
season.
just started this
Oh, it's
season.
gonna be pretty cool.
Remember how Ballers was?
Yeah.
Like the show Ballers?
yeah.
That was based off of.
The show I didn't finish. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did they do an expansion draft for that team, or how'd that work?
no,
Yeah,
it's
how
the
did it
same
work?
team. They just moved.
They just
Oh
moved.
yeah,
I
they were
see.
with
From
they were in
Oakland Raiders.
Oakland.
I see.
They
I
just
see.
moved to Vegas. Yeah, it's not like NHL where you have to.
What does
just
NHL have now?
steal-
Seattle. Seattle's coming.
Seattle's coming.
That's
in.
even
They just
interesting.
steal players from other teams.
We should do like a
Just
mock
stupid.
expansion draft
No.
thing, but that will take some time, maybe in the future.
You know what's
By
the
the way,
dream?
sorry. I just remembered this. Did you know that May 1st is the NBA is opening up
Yeah,
their practice facilities,
Yeah.
and the NHL talks are ramping up into starting the season again?
Yeah, they're saying today. Ali was saying, what was it in Toronto and
Well, today they announced that Toronto and Columbus are like the front runners because I don't know if I mentioned in the last podcast, but the NHL was thinking of restarting the season or not resuming the season, but they're gonna just do it in a specific arenas, so they're not gonna have all 31 arenas operating.
But there's no fans, is there?
I don't know if they'll have fans, but what they're thinking of is just looking at the locations with like the least amount of outbreak.
Mm-hmm.
So today they announced that Toronto and Columbus are like the front runners.
Toronto has a small outbreak.
I don't know, but I mean, I
Yeah.
just think Toronto is just because it's Toronto.
Yeah, I
like-
guarantee that's why they like.
Right.
it.
there's so
but-
many small like
The
subsidies
Saskatchewan,
in
and,
Toronto.
yeah, I'd rather do that.
Yeah, so I think they are gonna resume it within the next couple months, but like it's obviously just gonna be in like some small places.
I was actually
That's
listening to
interesting.
something on this topic today. So there's this guy that pretty much compiles a bunch of different news resources and talks about that specific topic for hockey. He was talking about the return of the NHL for this season, and he was saying that he was bringing up the hub idea, and one of the teams that was mentioned was actually Edmonton as a city, because yes, Alberta does have a lot of cases here, but Edmonton as a city is doing pretty well. So they think that Edmonton could be a good spot. I think they mentioned Winnipeg as well. I'm sure Columbus and Toronto are on there as well. But another thing that they were mentioning was pretty interesting was that John Scott, you guys remember John
Yeah.
Scott?
Yeah.
The MVP, All-Star.
All-Star MVP. So John Scott is reported to have said that the league has told the players to start training and preparing for I think he said May 15 return.
Inshallah.
So
Wait,
but
John Scott said this?
this is
Why?
I'm not sure. So this was
Who's this guy?
What is he
so
doing
if you go on YouTube at the Hockey Guy,
think
if you
he's
search the Hockey Guy's channel, there's a
he works
video.
for NHL
He
now.
pretty much goes through all of his resources and his sources for what he says. The score, I believe, also had a couple different dates that was reported, and it seems like the score was saying June 1st or mid-June. We don't know. What we do know is that they're working tirelessly to get the league back going. But another thing I heard yesterday was for hockey specifically, compared to like baseball or football or other sports, hockey doesn't get that much revenue from just television play. You know, they get their revenue from the fans going to pay $5 for a bottle of water. So
Shout out to Rogers.
yeah. So basically, the NHL is going to take a big money hit because of this, but they're just trying to get the play going again to salvage whatever they can from the season.
Yeah, well, I don't think it's fair to the players and for the fans that they just cancel the whole season in general,
Yeah.
especially because it was so close to the playoffs.
Yeah.
And I mean, the Flyers are going to win the cup, so it's
Okay,
not fair to that
But
fan
who's
base.
John Scott
Okay.
to be saying these things? I'm just so confused.
Who knows, man? He just had
He
probably has a lot of
tweeted, he
insiders.
said, just got word that the NHL camps will begin again June 1st. European players are coming back soon.
I mean,
Is he screwing around? I can't tell.
no, I don't think he's that kind of guy. I'm not sure if he has a job with NHL now after retiring, but usually like there are some ex-players that
Yeah.
they know the right people to get the right information.
But yeah.
At the end of the day, it's all
kinda
speculation. Like unless you get something legitimate, like from Gary Bettman or the owners of the league, we don't know what's happening. It's all speculation at this point.
How dumb was the NFL draft online? Like that virtual thing. It was so stupid.
Oh my god, it was.
It was so
When's the NHL
embarrassing.
draft?
We don't know.
No, that's
Yeah,
way
well,
after the playoffs.
Yeah,
man.
but
It's
they,
not-
Yeah,
they
but-
won't know until after the season ends. But I think the highlight of the NFL draft was Jerry Jones
the
drafting
yacht.
in his $250 million super yacht.
Must be nice to be rich.
Yeah. One
So
day.
can you stop looking at my printer?
Yeah, no, I think that's gonna be like I think that was like the best part of the draft. But I hope that that's not like a trend that's gonna happen in the future, because that would be
No,
Very
that was so
disappointing.
disgusting.
yeah.
I know we kind of said that we don't want to make this whole thing about sports, but I don't know. That's the only thing we could talk
It's the only thing we
about. It's literally Ramadan and sports. But let's shift gears, boys, to table talk. Table talk. You know what? I'm going to throw it out there. If anybody wants to advertise on our podcast, you could sponsor Table Talk.
It's going to be our new segment.
A new
anyways.
segment. But so far, this segment is brought to you by the producer, Ahmed Khalil.
Hey guys, so for our first question, it's gonna be: if you got arrested with no explanation, what would your friends and family assume you had done? Bilal, you want to start?
Oh, God. You can just say it. You guys know what you guys want to say. It's good. Just say it.
How many
I don't
think you
know.
Just say
Honestly, in my years of
Just say
like,
it.
I'm not saying like I'm a troublemaker, but like in my years of being in trouble, it's always with like the police in my cars. So it'd probably be something along the lines of that. Like,
But what about me? Like, if somebody says, "Bill, I'm got arrested," what would you say? Just whatever comes to your mind. Don't just
no.
drop it. Just drop it.
I can't.
Don't be scared.
No, it's fine. It's okay. No.
Yeah. Okay. Well, what is it? Well, okay.
No,
well,
mine would for sure be like just something to do with me driving like an idiot for sure.
me would probably be confronting somebody at Costco.
Yeah, that would probably be punching someone out at Costco.
That would definitely be like a rage battle. Like
It
Yeah.
wouldn't be rage. It would just be like.
like someone stole his hummus like in the line and he just went crazy.
no. It's not like that. It's just like it's like, why are you talking on your phone?
Yeah,
Speaker
it'd be
in
something
public.
so.
Or he threw like a shopping cart at LA Fitness because they haven't opened yet.
I'm gonna actually break in. I'm gonna break in and start working out. Like nothing is stolen. Just some guy working out.
That's a good one, Ali. I like that one. What about you, Ali? What would you think people would say about you?
I think driving is the most like, it's a cliche one, but I think
Yeah.
it's the most realistic one. But I think like
Adi, you're the most like careful driver I've ever met.
yeah,
in my
so
life.
that's what I'm saying. Like, but I think that's
like
what,
Adi
like,
yells at me when I drive.
That's
Just,
what, like, that's
just
what
wait
parents
until he
automatically
watches like
assume,
Fast
though.
and the Furious or
I
something,
know.
like Vin
Oh,
Diesel.
right after you
like-
watch Fast and Furious, you're driving like a crazy
Yeah,
person.
I don't know. Like my parents, like that's something that would just automatically come to their mind because like driving is usually the number one thing. But I don't know. I think like maybe my parents will think I stole something. I don't know. I like like I've never stole something in my life. I just want to say that.
I've stolen once. when I was a kid.
I've never actually stole something.
I'm just gonna steal something. This is gonna go on the record in the courts. Oh, let's bring evidence 2A on the Dean's List podcast, episode 3. Ali admits to stealing.
Yeah, I just put myself in jail. So
What would you steal?
Like, just be
What
like,
can you
like a
Head and Shoulders shampoo.
Yeah, like
No,
well,
who probably-
who knows, man? This outbreak can get worse, and
Yeah.
times might get desperate.
or aren't you just gonna go through your dad's records and stuff, people's personal information?
Yeah,
Commit
maybe.
identity. By the way, I'm not. Why do you guys think I'm like a rageaholic?
Because you're crazy.
I'm not crazy. When did I ever become crazy? Other than playing
look,
sports.
you know what?
AHL?
No,
Other than
there's,
sports.
there's something you guys have to know about Bilal. Bilal, he likes for people to be normal. Okay, if you're not normal, you do something like dumb, he's gonna get mad. I think that's pretty fair.
No,
Yeah, I mean,
I don't get mad. I get annoyed.
you get
No
annoyed.
patience.
No, he has
Gasp.
he has patience. He has patience.
Not in sports. I guess sports is different.
No,
No,
but
I'm
sports, for
competitive.
anyone,
Like I'm
though.
competitive.
Oh,
man.
yeah, for
like
anyone,
when I
though.
play sports, I get
Yeah,
competitive.
be like actually witnessing it being on his line in sports. I know how big of a hothead he is
Yeah.
in sports. And,
Thanks,
and,
Andy.
and every time he goes to the penalty box, like
Shake and
I
bake.
want to like hit him with my stick, but
Dude, if anything, I think
Seriously.
I've lost my temper with on sports more than Bilal. Like when we played like ice hockey together. I think
I don't
I
know about
was.
ice hockey. I've
he-
never
No,
seen
but you guys never played ice hockey with him.
No,
oh,
I never.
I played ice hockey.
No,
with
no,
him.
no. Like on a team.
Yeah,
Yeah, I played on
When?
the terrace with him.
Yeah, no,
he played a couple times. Well, maybe you were just
I've
calm
never-
that game.
No, I
I've
was
seen
calm.
it.
No, when I'm a sub, usually I'm a little bit more calm. But there's times where like my temper gets the best of me, and I'll maybe throw a hit or do something I'm not
No,
supposed
like
to
if
do.
you seen him on like not the night, the other one, like the other team that we played for.
Oh, that one, yeah.
Like every game he was in the penalty. Like you think I
Yeah.
was like every game he was like 5 minutes major.
Yeah,
You
I was
get
like,
the dumbest penalties.
I was like the
No,
Gordie
he
Howe.
was.
I was the Gordie Howe of the team.
I
But
remember-
the thing about Bilal is like he'll like drag some person by like his jersey and like whack him around like a wag or like a
Whisper
rag
some
doll.
scary words
And
to
then,
him.
and then he would like be skating to the box and be like, I didn't do anything. Like, this is just a stupid penalty.
And I just do that to piss off the ref.
Yeah, but no, I think that's normal for sports.
Yeah.
Like that's for like almost
Yeah.
any guy when it comes to a competitive sport, especially a sport you really like to play. If you're losing or something doesn't go your way, you're gonna lose your temper. That's
Mhm.
normal.
I just don't want it to be out there that I'm a rageaholic.
No,
okay?
But like
No.
if you were in Costco and you're fighting, I feel like
I'm
that's
not. I
what
want
it'd
to
be.
fight. I'll just call him out. I'll
No,
be like,
if anything-
"Why are
yeah.
you talking?" Like, there's times where I just want to go up to the guy and be like, "Do you have headphones?" Like, is this?
In his defense, though, like as someone who worked at Costco for 3 years, you see a lot of really annoying people there, man.
Yeah, it's
like
true.
your patience get tested a lot there.
I wonder if Bilal's one of those annoying customers.
Me?
No,
Oh,
no,
man, I'm in and out in like 20 minutes. Well, I say alhamdulillah, like, you know, like maybe it's a blessing that this coronavirus made sure everybody take off the whole sample sections.
Oh yeah.
Why?
Oh,
I
man,
love the samples.
That's why you go to Costco.
I'm
Those
like
are the
trying to
best
get
thing.
going, and then the guy just stops in the middle of the thing. Oh, is this
That's
is
me.
this a biscuit
I'm
with
literally
cheese?
that guy in Costco.
Oh, where can I find these biscuits? In aisle 34? Oh my god, okay, honey, do you think about these biscuits? And I'm like, can you just move?
That's me.
I can't stand that.
God,
You don't get samples when you go to Costco.
No, I'm in and out. Like I hate.
No, I love this. I'll
Why?
go
You
to
guys are
every
part of the
sample
problem.
cart. I'll go to every sample cart and then I'll start shopping.
This is why I'll be arrested.
I think for me it's tough to find something that I would
I don't even know.
like. If you were to ask me this like 5 years ago, for sure my parents would have said something about like speeding or something. But I've gotten better at driving and I'm more responsible now.
I feel
But-
like you'd get stuck in like a really bad situation by accident, and you'd get arrested. Like you,
Yeah.
Who are you in us?
yeah, like you
you'd
get
be
in
like-
an you
you'd
get
be
in
like
an
a bystander.
Uber.
Yeah.
You get in an Uber, and the Uber's actually a drug dealer with drugs in his car.
I can see Eunice being a narco in South
No.
America. He's
No,
not going
you
to
know,
school.
you know what
Well,
I could
hopping on
see.
random planes.
I
don't
could
know.
see Eunice going on like on a trip, like on a plane or something, and him getting arrested at the airport
Yeah.
because he had like cologne in his bag or something.
Yeah, they see the beard. My name is Mohammed. Oh, this guy for sure.
Yeah, that's what I could see.
No, I think personally for me, I think people would think, specifically my family, I think would think that I said something against like a tyrant regime or something like that, and I got in trouble for it. Something like that. I would do something like that, I think.
The best feeling is when you go to airports and they stop you thinking like they caught somebody and then they have nothing and they have to let you
Literally.
go. It's the best feeling.
I remember my first time flying to Seba for school. This is my very first time I had to go to American Customs, and this guy stops me and like he puts me through makes me walk through that little machine thing to like check if I have anything on me, and then he gets like his hand wand or whatever, starts waving that around me. Then he starts doing like a hand
Yeah.
pat. I'm like, okay, well, like you checked me 3 times already. What's going on? He's like,
He just likes you.
no. He's like, you see on this on your boarding pass, it has 4 S's, and apparently
Yeah.
if it has 4 S's, it means like you have to like double check or whatever.
Yeah,
I'm like,
me and-
I don't fly.
Me
Like,
and Ahmed actually had the similar thing, and we actually had to put we had to do like fingerprint scans and like a whole bunch of stuff. We were in Vancouver, I think, when we did it.
LA.
Yeah, and then they put like we were the only ones that got the S's,
yeah.
And then I remember searching it up, but I don't know.
Yeah,
I thought it was something about like I don't know.
he said
drugs?
something about like because you have the 4 S's, you're gonna be checked multiple
I
times.
thought
kind
I
of thing.
searched it up and it was something about drugs. Honestly,
I have no idea. But to be fair, after that one incident, I haven't had bad problems at the airport.
I thought I don't know. Like, is it still on your thing now when you travel?
No, someone like wrote it with a marker.
Yeah,
it
that's
wasn't
all
like
it's supposed
printed
to.
off. Yeah,
That's all it's supposed to. Yeah.
Yeah, what do you got for the next question, Ahmed?
You're not the host, Ali.
Okay, I'm sorry.
So, would you rather never use social media sites again, or never watch another movie or a TV show?
Never use social media sites. I think, yeah. Like, shockingly, yeah. Honestly,
Social
believe
media. The only
don't
social
believe
media
you.
I ever had.
I
was
honestly don't care for social media as
You're
much.
like the TikTok master.
Exposed.
Did you see the TikToks he makes for me?
The what?
The TikToks you make for me.
Oh yeah, okay. Literally the other way around.
Okay, boys.
I like the only like I had Facebook for a minute, and then
Facebook's useless.
And then I like that was like when it first came out.
Yeah.
Like it was like so basic.
It was so cool.
And then I had Instagram.
You still have Instagram.
I've never been on it for
You
like
do
3 or
not-
4 years.
Don't follow me.
I'm
back.
pretty sure
I don't have it. Like I don't.
2 years ago.
But you have
There's
it.
you know how many times like
It's literally
I
pictures
literally
of you
went in.
at the Hockey Hall of Fame.
That was the only pictures. I didn't even put those pictures
And like
up.
one selfie in like a window.
That was not even
It was
me.
really
Like that.
weird.
That wasn't a selfie. It was supposed to be like the
Sunset,
downtown
yeah.
or whatever.
Well, on this new segment, we're gonna go through Abd's Instagram.
But how many? There's like I went in and built like shut this down.
What do you mean?
Like I went to Instagram settings and like
Go into it and delete the account.
Yeah, it's literally all.
I didn't even
there.
know my password or anything.
It's literally just hockey stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's not one
But
picture of him.
you deactivate it, but if you ever try logging into it again, it activates it again.
I don't have any of that.
Okay, well,
Clearly, I don't.
honestly, I can honestly say, like, I've even said it, like, I was telling my friends, like, I can live without Instagram for sure. I don't care for Instagram as much. Twitter is, like, honestly the main one. I love Twitter. Snapchat, honestly, I don't care about Snapchat either.
See, I can live without Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter. I don't even use TikTok. That's all fine. But the Facebook I find is pretty useful, to be honest. And I think if I had to pick between
because you're a
Facebook,
fob.
I am a fob. Yes.
Yeah.
If I had to pick between Facebook or never watching a movie or TV show again, I'd honestly choose to keep Facebook and just never watch a movie. Or
Are you
TV.
actually serious?
You're
Are you
crazy,
insane
man.
right now?
Dude, I
Bold.
don't
What do you
watch.
do on Facebook?
I don't watch TV. I honestly don't watch TV. Like
That's true, actually.
The only TV I watch is like sports.
Yeah, me
Okay.
too. But like, don't you watch Netflix? Like, if a movie comes out,
So
or,
recently I got
like
into
you're
Netflix.
looking at not getting into watching. I don't know what, like The Irishman. Did you not watch The Irishman?
I did not
Boring.
watch that.
So boring.
So what? Here's what I'm watching right now. I'm watching the MJ documentary.
I bet you're disgusting.
We can talk about the MJ documentary another time. But I'm watching that right now on Netflix. And
Really
the thing
good.
I got into recently, which is actually a really good show, is The Blacklist. But-
yeah, I've
but-
heard of it.
Yeah.
Not interested.
But I'm like I can live without it though. I really don't care for it. So
You know, in Ramadan, I don't watch TV.
and yeah, no, I try to minimize it. I'll be honest, I do watch it at times when I get
That's what I
like bored or
thought.
tired. But like no, it's better to avoid it in Ramadan. But I'll be honest, there are times where I just want to break and then I'll watch like a show
Yeah.
or something.
I'll still listen to like sport podcasts.
Yeah.
And then I'll like watch like it's not even watching. It's like I listen to Al Jazeera stuff on my phone.
Yeah.
But I never like sit and watch Netflix or Crave or
You
anything
watch
like
Al
that.
Jazeera?
I love
like for
Jazeera.
fun?
I love it.
That's a
That's
new
why I'm so
it's a new
educated.
station, by the way.
We're gonna get. We're gonna have a segment between me and Ahmed Khalil sometime
Ali answer?
about politic talk. Who
Did you
cares what
answer?
Ali thinks?
Yeah,
I care.
I'm already
care
off
as
the
well.
show. I'm already off the show.
Go ahead, Ali.
For me, I think I would get rid of TV shows.
Really?
Oh God.
You know what? Like
I feel like I
look,
say it, but
Like
I honestly don't care
the
for
thing
social
is
media.
I understand like social media never existed years ago and like people have lived without it.
I live without
but
it.
I
yeah.
think in this day and age, which I think goes on into our next question, but in this day and age, like social media is a way for everyone
Yeah.
to stay connected.
That's true.
And social media, in my
But-
opinion,
Like when
it-
we say social media, are we saying like WhatsApp?
No, WhatsApp's not social
No.
media. Social
Okay.
media, I look at social media like you're sharing pictures, you're sharing thoughts. It's WhatsApp is communication. It's like text
Yeah.
messaging.
I
I
know.
wouldn't say social media.
I don't know.
It's like borderline, I think.
Yeah, it's a very hard like question honestly because I watch a lot of shows and movies too,
Yeah.
but I also think I can live without shows and movies.
Can we
like,
just
like as
say-
long as we have sports, I don't
Listen,
care.
I'm just
Yeah,
gonna
so
say
TV show, you
guys are
can't
just
watch sports.
Sports isn't a TV show.
It's not a TV show. It's not.
Yeah, no, I can still watch my sports,
Yeah,
so that's fine.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So if I can watch my sports, then I'm okay with keeping social media.
I feel like that question.
Okay,
is
but what if it's TV in general? Like you cannot watch
Okay,
anything.
yeah,
Like
then
your
the-
sports comes off social media.
Yeah,
like
then,
you have to.
then social media is off.
Wait, can I watch highlights?
Yeah, but it has to be on your social media app.
No.
Okay.
Like you can't sit and watch a full game.
No,
Okay,
if,
I
if,
think
if,
I'd
I
watch
have
the
to, if
highlights.
I have to watch a Flyers like highlights every single game, I wouldn't be able to do
Okay.
it.
Okay, then in that case, I'd probably do the social media too if I could still watch sports.
Can we just say what it is?
Thanks for
You guys
copying
like
me.
creeping on girls.
What?
Yeah, on social media. Just say it how it is.
Wow. You know what, Bilal, listen. I think you just gotta assume the best in people.
I'm just joking. You guys are good guys. I'm just joking around. But no, me personally, like the last time I was on social media, I could say like honestly, well, it's been 5 years. Like I have never been on. Like that
And
was
you
the
just
last
think
time I've
you're
been
the
on
coolest
Instagram.
guy on earth.
I am. But like try it. Like try for Ramadan.
No.
Let's try for Ramadan.
Wow.
I think it's important to note this though. Like I can stop social media if I wanted to.
Yeah.
This is a matter of choice. Like if I have to
that's,
choose.
that's what they all say.
That's
No,
what
no.
every alcoholic in
I-
the world says. I
like-
could drink drinking whenever I want.
I deleted Snapchat
Nah.
before. I deleted Instagram before. I'm off Twitter now. Like I can do it.
Yeah.
It's just that it's now
I
the
could live
question
with
was a matter of
Twitter.
choice. Like which would you rather?
Yeah, but I
Right.
think with Twitter though, Twitter's like your news,
Twitter's
it's
the best
everything.
social media. I can
Right?
live without Instagram and Snapchat, but Twitter I can't
Twitter
live
is
without.
literally your news to sports, your news
Yeah,
to
I
everything
love
happening in the
Twitter.
world. Without
Not
like Twitter, you wouldn't
man.
really
No, like the score. Like I have that app. I guess is that technically
man,
social
without
media?
social media, you wouldn't know a lot
Like
of things.
sporting apps. I don't know.
I wouldn't say sporting apps or social
no,
media.
that's just like new. I don't know.
No,
Yeah,
that's
look
not-
at it as news.
It's
It's
news.
just like-
Yeah, I'd say that's news.
Twitter is the best. I could live without Snapchat, Instagram. I
So
could
pretty
live
much I'm the
without-
only guy
TikTok.
here that don't need social media. Is what you're saying.
Yes, Bilal, we get it.
I don't know. I like honestly like having like Netflix or like not having that. I'd rather not do that.
Mm.
Next question, Ali. What's up? I mean, sorry, Ahmed.
Are humans too dependent on phones or computers? And computers.
Yeah,
That's something to think about. Like I think everyone is.
But we need it.
but that's a thing.
Exactly. You're too dependent on
I
it.
know.
That's the definition. Of
Yeah. Like, we
learned
need
people
it.
on this podcast.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like if you took out all the phones and technology in this world, like right now, I don't think people would be able to live, especially
No.
during quarantine.
No way.
Like technology, I think is the only thing that's keeping people like alive in quarantine.
Yeah, for sure.
So I have a little bit of an interesting take on this because I've been without a phone, without a properly functioning phone for a little over a week now. I dropped my phone, so I can't see anything on my screen, but I still receive messages and phone calls and stuff. So I decided I'm not going to replace or fix my phone until after Ramadan, or possibly till after my exams. But man, it's been tough. It's only been like, I think,
So
10 days.
you get WhatsApp messages and messages still.
I still
on your-
I receive all messages, but I can't reply unless I have my watch on me, and replying on my watch is a mission. So which is why I'm telling everyone
But
not
that's-
to text me.
But that's technology though. That's
Yeah.
computer.
That's-
You're dependent still.
I'm still dependent. What
Yeah.
I'm saying is
But
like
he's not holding a phone
like,
in his hand.
I
But
have
still, like,
I have
yeah.
half a
Different.
phone. Let's call it half a phone with me right now,
Right.
and just with half a phone, I feel like a big loss.
Yeah.
A big chunk has been taken out of
And
me.
but even like the watch and like your laptop for answering like WhatsApp messages, like if none of that existed, like it would be even more difficult.
Big
Mhm.
time, big time. Honestly, I've been fighting with the thought of like just ordering a phone now and not waiting till under Ramadan. But I'm gonna try my best to just push through till the end of Ramadan, because I was going into Ramadan thinking I'm either gonna delete social media for the month or do something else. And then right before Ramadan came, I broke my phone. I'm like, you know what? This is like perfect timing.
It's a
So-
sign.
It's a
Yeah,
sign.
so I'm like, I'll keep the social media active, but I just won't be on it all day because I won't have access to it unless I have my laptop with me.
Yeah.
So yeah, but it's been tough, man. I'll be honest, it's been pretty tough.
But like literally everything in the world shifted to technology. Like even at
Yeah.
work right now, like if like even just thinking about like, okay, yeah, just walking in, there's like no computers, no nothing, everything has by hand. Like I guarantee you the whole world would shut down. Like that's it.
Yeah.
It's end of the
But
world.
everyone depends. Yeah.
We live in a time and an age where like they've kind of made it so that we have to have technology.
Yeah,
Yeah, of course.
but I think
Yeah.
it's just like it's gonna like maybe the human race will adapt to like, okay, there's no more technology, let's just, but it's gonna be really tough. I still
Like
think it's
for me,
too
like even
dependent.
something as simple as like a GPS, when I remember like driving with my dad, like when I was younger, and like my dad would know where all the like the houses are, like just by basing off the streets and
Yeah.
like the avenues. Like for me, I can never do that.
Yeah,
for me,
I don't
have
know
to pull up
where
my maps app
yeah,
and then
no.
so like I think like you said, like we grew up in a we grew up in a more like
I'm
technologically
only 30, Ali.
advanced
You can
world.
you don't have to.
No, it's true though. You didn't have all the technology when you were younger.
No, like
Great.
GPS. became big when I was done high school.
Yeah.
Like before that,
Yeah, but we had like
GP
cell phones in junior high and high school.
Like, I never had a
you
cell phone.
cell phones in
So
junior
wait,
high.
Elementary.
Wait, what
Don't-
was
don't get it
big?
twisted.
What was big when you guys were like in junior high?
A BlackBerry.
The
Like
BlackBerry.
like a phone.
Yeah, like in terms of phones.
I don't know. I feel like everyone had a BlackBerry.
BlackBerry, Nokias were big too.
BlackBerry. No,
See-
it was mostly BlackBerry.
See, for me, like I'm only a couple
BlackBerry
years
and like
older.
the really early like S4. I know a couple had S4s.
like
See-
the Bolt. That you
Yeah,
didn't,
like,
the
no,
Bolt
not
was,
even. It was a BlackBerry
No,
Curve. Like
yeah,
my
yeah,
Curve
the
had
Curve
a,
was
like it
a-
had the ball.
Yeah,
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 everybody had
junk.
the Ball.
yeah. I
Yeah.
remember for me, like I'm only like I think 2 or 3 years older than you guys, but when I was in grade 8 or 9, like the crazy phone at that time was like the Motorola Razr,
Mhm.
like a flip
Yeah,
phone. You know,
that
like,
was
you look,
actually my first phone.
you look at that phone today though, you look at it, it looks like trash compared
Yeah.
to what we have on the market now, right? But times changed so quick,
yeah.
man. Couple of years, and now the BlackBerry took over.
And now
And-
even the BlackBerry now is like it's
Yeah, it's
nothing.
obsolete. There's no more.
Yeah,
But,
miss-
like,
it's crazy
I miss it,
though. BlackBerry
Yeah.
was honestly the best phone I've ever had.
The BlackBerry Bolt was
If
the
they
best
kept
one.
up with like everything,
Yeah,
I think it
that's
still
true.
would
I
be the
would
best.
rather have a
But,
BlackBerry than an iPhone.
Yeah.
Like if
but
it
no,
kept
now
up.
Well, you
but I
held
love
on to
my
it for a
iPhone
while.
now.
I had it.
Your dad
Yeah.
held on to it for
Yeah,
a
I
while.
it's
had
such
a
a good
BlackBerry.
phone.
Like my first phone was the LG Slide, whatever that was, and then when the BlackBerries like became affordable,
Yeah.
I jumped right onto the BlackBerry, and then it kept that until the iPhone.
My first
And then
phone
I
was a
kinda-
Motorola flip phone. It was in grade 4.
I
Grade
don't know.
4.
Grade 4.
That's
Big
good.
flex.
You know what? We're gonna talk about that in a future podcast.
Yeah.
How young is
We
too
should
young
just-
to have a phone? But
that's
that's,
actually a
in
good
a
one.
future podcast because we'll save it for another one.
Okay, how about this? Do you think is it wrong for the world to be dependent on technology to enhance it?
Mm.
Like, do you think like it's a bad thing that technology is making everybody
No,
so
See,
close and stuff? Or do
I
you?
wouldn't say so.
I would say technology.
Like we shouldn't look at it as a bad thing. That
No,
we're
I
too
think
dependent
what
on it.
happened. I think technology ruined the human race when it came down to what's it called, social media. I honestly feel like social media poisoned.
Yeah, social
the
media. I
world.
agree.
But like other than that, I don't like. I'm for technology
Me too.
advancements. Like every
It keeps
aspect.
it close with a lot of people, to be honest.
No, it
which
just
is
makes
good.
like it just makes the world a better place, right?
Yeah.
See, the way I see it, whether it's technology or social media, they both have their good and their bad, right?
Yeah.
So
of
like,
course.
if you're gonna use it for the right thing, like Bilal mentioned in his question, like the world relying on technology for advancements, I think that's a good thing, right?
Right.
If you want to improve society, the way it works and stuff, that's a good thing. Social media, if you're using it to stay connected with family and friends in a responsible manner, or like, you know, you want to spread out a really good message, that's a good thing. If you're gonna be using it to like, you know, creep on girls or do something dumb like that, then yeah, obviously it's a bad thing. Like it's what you make of it, right?
But even like social media opened up a whole nother door for like bullying too.
That's
Like
true.
cyberbullying and like it and also like one thing that like a lot of people say is like once it's on social media it
It's
never
there
it's
forever.
it's there
Yeah.
forever. So like it's something you have to be very careful with and something that I think a lot of people just forget about.
It
and they
ruins
just,
people,
yeah.
right? Like
Oh,
for example,
100%.
Kevin Hart. Like they found old tweets of him.
But that was like when Kevin Hart tweeted that, he was still famous. Like he
Yeah,
wasn't. It
but
wasn't
it
like
was
he
a
didn't.
different time.
He
But
tweeted
it
that
was
a
like
different
10,
time.
11
Yeah.
years ago, and plus
But
back
it-
then
but
it was
also-
normal.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But like even like
It's
he
different times, right?
Like if you look at his old specials,
Yeah, I
he
know.
said the exact same thing. Like
Well, someone said it, and then he wasn't the host of.
On-
no, like his specials, like he was
No,
making
yeah,
fun
I
of
know
people
that,
and
but
stuff.
No, he got a lot of flack, but I don't think that's fair, man. Because
no, it
you know
wasn't
what?
100%, and he
'Cause-
didn't apologize for it.
But I don't think he should have though, because
he shouldn't
like
have.
obviously
He didn't, though.
times are different. Obviously, he wouldn't say anything like that today.
Like what?
Let's not talk about it. Okay? But he wouldn't say anything like that today.
I'm like sitting here sweating in my seat.
But no, like let's be real here. Back then, it was
Yeah.
the norm.
I think everyone could agree with that.
It was
Yeah.
the norm,
If you're
right?
trying to stay with it, like everyone could agree it was.
So if he was
Yeah.
expected to apologize for what he did back then, then I
Yeah.
think everyone else should be expected to do the same.
Yeah.
So I understand where he's coming from.
Yeah.
If you asked me to apologize, honestly, I think I would just probably apologize just to keep people happy.
But Kevin Hart didn't apologize.
He didn't, which is his right though. I
Yeah,
don't think
of
I don't
course,
think he's a
100%, I
bad
agree
person because
with
he
it.
didn't apologize.
Yeah, of
You know,
course.
but whatever. I think that's a good point though. Social media, once it's on there, it's there forever, and it's tough to kind of get rid of it.
If you guys, the young people listening to this, remember that, like that stuff that you post right now could come and haunt you down the road.
And not just on social media, like even like a picture that you sent to someone, that picture you don't know if it's going to be deleted or whatever. It's there for life too.
That's true, on the servers and stuff.
Yeah.
Brothers, it's always an honor, man. Like I love having you guys around. Love catching up with you guys.
It's good stuff.
So thank you for listening to episode number 3, guys. On social media, you can catch us on Instagram and Facebook at Dean's List Podcast. Deen, Deens, List Podcast. And if you want to email us, if you have any suggestions or topics you want us to talk about, or even questions for Table Talk, let us know at deanslist podcast@gmail.com. And we're dropping these every Monday on Spotify, Apple, and Anchor. So I'm pretty sure if you just search the name Dean's List Podcast, it should come up. Thanks for listening. And if you guys could give us a solid and just, tell your friends about this podcast, tell your family members about this podcast. I know it's kind of still dry about topics just because of coronaviruses, but inshallah we'll pick it up. And, with your help, we'll make it big. Jazakumullah khairan. And we'll catch up next week, guys. Assalamu alaikum.